Well, outgoing Senator Claire McCaskill now admits that her party's last-minute attempt to destroy Brett Kavanaugh's reputation and tar him as a rapist backfired. McCaskill says that attempt may be the reason she lost re-election in November. Tammy Bruce is a radio host and president of Independent Women's Voice. She joins us tonight. Tammy, thanks a lot
My
for
pleasure.
coming on. Interesting, we just spoke actually in the segment before to Josh Hawley, who beat her in that campaign in Missouri. I find it fascinating that she would say that out loud. Seems sort of honest for a politician to say something like that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, she's free now, though, because she's not going back.
Right.
And that allows you some reflection about what's going on. But at the same time, this did not happen in a vacuum, right? This was not a one-off experience. And she should know, because in her political work, she's helped facilitate to a large degree this notion that due process should end, and that due process is not a good idea, particularly on college campuses, which is where, you know, a lot of people have watched this unfold, that if you are accused as a young man on a campus, you are suspended. Questioning the accuser makes you a sexist or a misogynist. And then you lose perhaps your tuition and your scholarships, etc. So we've seen this move through society in little pockets that maybe not everyone noticed, but we saw it happening on campus. It was inevitable, Tucker, that this would happen in the halls of the Senate where they make law. And I think she's realizing, maybe too late, obviously, that what she'd helped facilitate before has now come back in a very serious dynamic and has harmed her and her party.
Yeah, and of course, a female senator loses her seat in the name of female empowerment. Kind of interesting. So where does, I mean, do you see this, taking 3 steps back, do you see this fervor, the intensity of this moment accelerating in the next couple of years, or calming down and the rest of us regaining our senses a little bit, like Claire McCaskill?
Yeah, this is not unusual for the Democrats. We can expect the Democrats to once again not know when to stop. They will want it to accelerate. They will make the mistake of trying to do that. And especially since they took the House, they're going to think that all of this activity actually helped them. It didn't. And I think and this is going to be up to the Republicans and to fair-minded Americans to remind their loved ones and their families that this is not what we do, that due process matters, that ideas matter. The Republicans are going to have to deliver. The president is going to have to really step up to make sure that, you know, this conversation is a fair one and is led appropriately, because we know bad things do happen to women. We want them to get justice, obviously. Right. I've spent most of my adult life working on that. But men are partners in this. That due process and fairness is imperative for all of us. Women will be the first to lose, as I've argued through this entire dynamic.
Well, that's actually,
and men are already losing very badly.
Well, so you said that from day one. Literally, when the Harvey Weinstein story broke, and we're all horrified, you were horrified, I was horrified, you said in that segment, I'll never forget it, this could whip around and hurt women as well as innocent men. Well, we're getting yet another story suggesting that may be true. The MeToo movement hurting women's employment prospects in many sectors, but in this story, it's on Wall Street, according to Bloomberg, because men are afraid to hire them.
That's right.
Does this story, it's a sad story, does it surprise you?
It doesn't, and yet it's a reflection of the fact that this was always about dividing men from women, that in fact men are our allies on this issue, that the majority of men don't do what Harvey Weinstein was doing, that you know, and this is where we've lost that dynamic, and so all men are afraid. Whereas, in fact, they should be the individuals who help us the most with their brothers and with the men that they work with in their fraternities. There are defenders as well. So this was never really about women for the left. It was about dividing men from women. And yet, for those of us who care about the issue, we really have to make sure that men are brought along with us and that women do get the justice they deserve, but they'll only get it when men are not demonized, all men are not demonized as the bad guy.
You've been a consistent voice on that literally from day one. We appreciate it. Tammy,
thank you, Tucker.
Thanks a lot.